Hello, N4H&H here with another unboxing video, and this is another BalUn from BalUn Designs that I ordered. You'll recall from a previous video I was unboxing the BalUn Designs model number 1171T, which is a BalUn that they make specifically for doublet antenna systems, which if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I have a 250-foot antenna, a dipole, okay, that would have been a 160-meter dipole had I fed it with coax, but it is fed with ladder line, making it a doublet antenna system. Doublet, D-O-U-B-L-E-T. So remember from previous videos, I had a tuner, a Palstar AT Auto, that failed, and I have for nearly 20 years used that tuner to match my doublet antenna because it had a 4-to-1 BalUn inside the tuner itself. So the ladder line came all the way up to the, let me pan, the ladder line came all the way up to the back of the tuner, which used to sit right here. So go back and watch a previous video and you'll see that, the video about my Palstar AT Auto failing. I'm not blaming it. It's been around almost 20 years, and I will eventually get it fixed. And you may have also seen the video where I've been using this Elecraft KPA 1500, which has a built-in antenna matching unit. They call an ATU, antenna tuner, but you know, let's all agree that they really don't tune the antenna. They match to the antenna. But I've enjoyed using that. I really have. But, you know, when I called BalUn Designs, they recommended the 1171T because I knew that, this doesn't have a built-in BalUn, so I was going to need another BalUn. And so they recommended the one that you saw in the previous video, which, let me move the camera and you can see over there. I'm going to zoom in. There's the 1171T. Okay, so it's been working okay. I'm not complaining so much as I want to see if the 4-to-1 can do any better, because the 4-to-1 with the Palstar tuner was able to match up on 160 meters, and I was able to operate on 160. With that 1-to-1, but it's a 97 ohm. Remember, it's 97 on the input and output side. So that coax that you see there, that's LMR 400. That coax is 50 ohm and it is plugged in to a 97 ohm outlet, SO239 going into that BalUn. So changing the length of that coax actually affects the SWR to an extent, especially on the higher frequencies. And it does quite well. This thing is just killing it on 15 meters right now. I mean, beating my other antennas by as much as 7 S units. So I'm just blown away by that. I worked Japan over the weekend, 4 stations to Japan, and the only reason there was only 4 is because I had other things I had to do. They were just up for grabs. It was easy with the doublet. Not so much with my other antennas, though. So I was really pleased with the performance of the doublet on 15 meters, and it's been quite a while since 15 meters was open like that. So even with that 97 ohm BalUn, again, it's a 1-to-1, but it's 97 on both sides. It's doing okay, but the tuner is having to work a little bit harder to get a match on certain frequencies, not on all. And because of that, it limits me. You can go back and watch the video of the Elecraft KPA 1500 software where I show that the software will tell you what your power limitation is going to be based on the match that it had to meet. So in other words, anything above the 3-to-1 SWR, you have to derate how much power you're going to put out. So while it is capable of 1500, if I'm matching an SWR of above 3-to-1, I can't run a full 1500. And their software lets me know, based upon the match, what my limit is. It might be 630, it might be 1025. It will let you know, which is really cool. But I want to see if the 4-to-1 can get me back in range to where I'll be able to use 160 meters, but I don't want to give up the performance of 15 or 10. And if I have to make a tough choice, I will go back to this 97 ohm option here. So, all right, without further ado, let me get over here and open this box. Let me get the camera back on it there and see what we have in here. Of course, we know what it is. It's a BalUn. Here we go. From BalUn Designs. Okay, so let's get this into the camera. So it's their 4-to-1 hybrid BalUn rated for 3 kilowatts. Now the 97 ohm up there that's currently connected is rated for 5 kilowatts. And you always want to get that rating as high as you possibly can. That's not based upon the amount of power you're running per se. It's the choking ability of the BalUn itself to choke common mode current, keep that from getting into the shack. And so my ladder line stops right there at the window. It barely comes in the window to connect to that BalUn. That's why you saw that arrangement up there where the BalUn is sitting on the curtain. So 4-to-1 hybrid BalUn, and so it's dual core. And so it's handling the 4-to-1, and then it's also doing a choke function. Model number 4116T. T because I ordered it with terminals on top. Has an SO239 on the bottom. Okay, and it's in the weatherproof box, so it could just as well be installed outdoors. And these are right now currently priced at under $100 as you see it, of both this one and the 1171. So again, this is model 4116T, a 4-to-1 hybrid BalUn. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get it hooked up, and then we'll see how it performs. Okay, so got the BalUn pulled down here. This is the 1171T, and you may recall from the last video I used my nifty little adaptable plier wrench here to undo these nuts on the top. Hope that's visible in the camera there. And so I'll get this put back together, and then I'll catch you in a few minutes when I get this on the air. I should point out one more time, and I did in the previous video, that I'm not going to crimp using these ring terminals here just yet because I'm experimenting. So here we go. So I'm just going to loosen these up, and then I'll sandwich it in here between the flat washers. See here. Okay, I'm back, and there's the Alicraft KPA 1500 in front of you there. And I should be zoomed out enough that you can read the display, the digital display on the left, and then on the right side you can see where it says SWR, and it's got what they call their speedometer scale. It's got one up there for power as well. So the first thing I notice, I'm going to go ahead and key up, and I'm going to, I'm in FM, and I'm set at 20 watts. The SWR is off the chart. I checked it just before I started rolling the camera, and that's the only thing I've done since I hooked up the BalUn. So first thing I'm going to do is go into the menu, and I've got it set on memory erase for antenna 2. It's antenna 2 is the second port. It's got 2 antenna ports on it, and antenna 2 has the coax that's going over to that BalUn. So I'm going to long press menu, and then it says tap the up button to erase. So what I'm doing is I just deleted all previous memories that it had stored in it for that special 97 ohm 1-to-1 BalUn. And now I'm going to tap this ATU tune button till it blinks, and let's see what happens. Wow. Okay, I'm going to get back out into the main menu. It's able to give me a 1 point, what was that, 0? Yeah. Let me bump the power up a little bit. It's showing 18 watts. The watt meter in this Elecraft is quite good. It is calibrated to the National Institute of Standards, so I was told by a gentleman at Elecraft. It is. I do find it to be so accurate that I actually no longer use a watt meter on top of my radio. Moving over to the computer for a moment, I want you to see there's the software from Elecraft. And down at the bottom left, you will see that it tells me what my maximum power limit is, ATU power limit. So based upon the match that it was able to achieve, I'm able to run 1400 watts on 160 meters. So to put that in perspective, before I was not even I wouldn't even be able to use the antenna with that doublet BalUn above 1875, and even at 1875 it was a 1.7 to 1, and I think it was just maybe 625 watts I was allowed. So this is definitely an improvement here on the 160 meter band. I expected it would be, because with the 4 to 1 BalUn that was inside of my Palstar AT Auto, I was able to run legal limit. Well, it's a wide range tuner. So this tells me that the tuner didn't have to work too hard to achieve a match, allowing me to operate at 1400 watts on 1875. That's where I'm at right now. All right, so back over here to the amplifier. Let me zoom back in. Okay, that should be focused now. I'm just going to try some other bands and see what happens. So, as a matter of fact, while I'm here, I'm going to go down to 1800 or 1801, so the low end, the CW portion. Okay, it needs help, and that's common with 160 meters. Well, it likes that end of the band. It says that I could operate with up to 1620 watts. So let's go up to the high end of the band. I'll go to 1997. All right, here we go. Okay, so there, it's having to work a little bit harder to achieve the match, but it's telling me that I could operate with up to 1025 watts there. So, all right, well, it's definitely an improvement over that 97 ohm 1-to-1 BalUn, even though it was a 5 kilowatt rating and is designed for a doublet antenna system. But I'm liking this so far. Now I'm going to try 10 meters, just go to the other extreme. And I'll go to the middle of the sideband portion, 28.4. Put it in the, I need to clear the memories for this one, so I'm going to go into the menu and long press. It says tap up. There we go. So the previous memories for this band are now deleted. I'll go back to the status menu so you can watch. And here we go. I'm going to tap the tune button. Okay, so it's given me a good match, a 1.2 to 1, and it says that I would be able to use up to 1195 watts on 10 meters, which is, oh wow, that is way more than enough. Sometimes I just run 100, 200 watts on 10 meters. 500 is really very, very sufficient. Okay, so now I'm going to try the FM portion of 10 meters. Naturally, it's going to be high. Let's let it do a tune cycle. 1800 watts, which is essentially no limit. So that's looking real good. One other place, I'm going to try the low end of the CW portion of 10 meters. Bear with me as I dial that in. So this is going to be 28.001. right. A 1.2 to 1, and it says I can operate with 1,145 watts there. I'm liking these results. I really am. I was not able to tune 40 meters with the previous BalUn, the 97 ohm 1-to-1. But not that it bothers me a lot, because my best antenna on 40 meters is always my ZS6 BKW. But for curiosity, I'll see what it'll do on 40 meters. I'll do 7145 quickly here. Now, with that band being open, I'm going to go ahead and give an ID here. N4H&H testing. Notice the SWR is good because it's on antenna 1. This unit is programmed to go to the antenna that you prefer for a particular band, so I have it that way. I'm going to force it over to antenna 2. Naturally, I'm sure the SWR is going to be, yep, out of sight. Let's see if it can even tune it. Wow, remarkable. So, what is my limitation there, though? 775 watts. Before, it wouldn't tune it at all. So, that's a pleasant surprise. But again, my ZS6 BKW always wins on that band, so I will leave it on that one. So, I'm going to try 20 meters. I won't do every band. I'm just giving you guys an idea here. I'm going to try 20 meters just to see what that might look like. See if it's open. Oh, it is open. Okay, 14203. Not that anybody can hear me at 20 watts, but well, who knows? You know, I do QRP. But I'm going to go ahead and N4H&H testing. Well, the SWR is so high anyway. So let's see what happens. FM mode. Tune. Oh, that was quick. And, well, run full legal limit there. This thing is working out very nicely. Okay, I'm sorry to differ with the gentleman at BalUn Designs. I told him originally that I thought I should get a 4-to-1, which is what was in my PalStar tuner in the first place. So he said, no, we make a BalUn just for doublet antennas. Again, it performed magnificently on 15 meters. So I'm going to try that one band and see how this, at least how the SWR is here. But I always knew that this antenna, and let me explain. I mentioned this in other videos, but let me give you a little background. It's 250 feet, like I said before, of wire fed in the middle with window line. Now that's about 60 feet of window line. And before, even in bypass, not using the tuner, the antenna was usable on 20 meters and 17 meters with below a 2-to-1 SWR. I always figured that it must be somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 ohms impedance at the end of that ladder line, that window line. So a 4-to-1 BalUn was an appropriate choice. And but, the gentleman told me to try the 97 ohm doublet BalUn. I may just return that one if they'll accept it back, because I think my original idea of a 4-to-1 is being proven here. So let me go to, I didn't clear 20 meters, but that does tell me that it will tune it. I'll clear those memories later when, not use up my video to do it. All right, let me go to 15 meters and clear memory. I'll see it's on antenna 2. All right, and FM mode. Let's see if the band's open. Yep, it is. So I'll go to 21, 225. I don't hear anybody. N4H&H testing. Well, see, SWR sky high anyway. FM mode, here we go. Wow. Let me go back to status and look at that. 1.1, maximum power 1565. I'll take that. So I believe this is going to be the ticket here. The 4-to-1 BalUn and the hybrid BalUn, dual core, and it is rated for 3 kilowatts. Let me go ahead and try another band, 30 meters. And I always centered up on 30 meters for 10.113. Let me clear the memories. Okay, and back to status. Wow, look, not too far off. Let me put it in bypass. Wow, that's interesting. Look at that. So without the tuner, it's a 1.8 to 1. So 30 meters is not going to be a problem, but let's go ahead and touch it up. .3 to 1, and it says that I can operate with up to legal limit. Okay, 30 meters is limited to 200 watts, but that's good news. That's very good news. I guess I'll go ahead and do 80 meters just for grins, because that's another one that I had a few limitations on with the with that 97 ohm 1-to-1 doublet BalUn. So let's see what happens here. I'll go to the middle of the band, 3750. N4 H&H testing. Okay, yep, too high. Let's tap it. Okay, it's a 1.0 to 1, but my power limit there will be 960 watts. And if you've watched my video about decibels and amplifiers and S meters, I encourage you to go back and watch that if you haven't. You'll hear me say that first 500 or 600 watts is the most important. After that is really gravy. It's almost bragging rights. So I'm completely fine with letting this amplifier loaf along at 500, 600 watts, which is interesting because the KPA 500, the little brother of this amp, can produce 600 watts and a little plus. They call it a KPA 500, but the transistors that are in it are capable of producing 600 watts. They're a little conservative. Well, this amplifier here can produce 1800 watts in that range, but you know, that means that it's loafing along when you're running 1,000 watts for example. But so I'm perfectly fine with being able to operate at 500 watts, 600 watts limitations. Well, and really right now the lowest limitation is it this 960? There might have been one earlier in the video that was a little bit lower, but I don't think any of them have been less than 500 or 600 watts. So I'm good with that. And incidentally, if you are considering an Elecraft amplifier, I believe they're the finest. They're the ease of operation, how they look. I don't have a big light on right now because I wanted you to see the display. Hold on one second. That'll put a little bit more light on the subject. So the KPA 500 is a really good value right now for an amplifier. As a matter of fact, if you get it in a bundle, they have a KAT for the antenna tuner, KAT 500, which matches it. Now, unlike this one, which has the tuner built into the RF deck, because this one has a separate power supply. Let me pan over. You've seen it before in other videos, I'm sure. There it is. So that's producing 50 volts DC at a very high current because this amp requires it. Get back on this guy. So the KAT 500 sits under the KPA 500, which is about the same size as this, and handles the antenna tuning portion. that to me is the best deal going right now, especially if you buy if the bundle is still available. What they do with the bundle is you get the tuner, the amplifier, and a cable for your particular brand of radio, so you can control the amplifier automatically from your radio, transmit it, as well as band changes. But anyway, just wanted to say that I say that to say this, that the 500 to 600 watt range is plenty, and I'll be happy to have this produce that with that 4-to-1 BalUn. So I'm very, very pleased that this experiment worked out like I was hoping that it would. Hey, I want to insert this into the video. You know, I checked so many other bands, but I never checked 17 meters because I kind of set out to just sample a few, but I want you to see this. It's really, really amazing. I'm on the Doublet, antenna 2. I do not have the tuner engaged. 1.1 to 1. And, of course, no limitation for power there. Now, that's at 18,165. That's the high end of the band. I'm going to go down to the lower end of the band. I'll do 18,070. 1.0 to 1. Tuner not necessary here. Now, I can leave it like that, and it'll remember it when I come back, when I change bands. Watch this. I'm going to go back. I'll go to 14 meters. 14 megahertz. See, back to 17 meters, 18 megahertz, and it remembers that I don't want the tuner engaged there. So that's a nice surprise, which begs the question, because before I could use the tuner in bypass for 20 meters and 17 meters, but I had less than a 2-to-1. It varied a little bit. It was actually the best in between those two bands. So let me see where we are now. I'll go back to 20 meters. Okay, so it's a 2.5 to 1 there. I'm not surprised by that, and I'll tell you why. I didn't mention this before, but I have trimmed some of that window line off just to tweak it a little bit. When I was experimenting with various different BalUns, I trimmed it some, because if you change the length of it by 1/8 wavelength for whatever band you're trying to settle it in on, plus or minus, you can add an 1/8 wavelength or you can take away an 1/8 wavelength, it will move the SWR, or move the resonant points. So I haven't gotten out the analyzer this time. I did it with the last one, but you know, really the proof is here on the SWR meter anyway. But it does have about 4 resonant points, as I've seen before, and they just move up or down based upon the length of that window line. So because I shortened that window line, I moved the resonance point that was in between 20 meters and 17 meters, which gave me a lower than 2-to-1 on both bands. I've moved it up, and it's settled now into well into the 17 meter band. So I'm okay with that. Just wanted you to see that in the video. I discovered that after I quit filming, so I'm going to insert that into here now. Okay, so I went and got the antenna analyzer, and I'm going to go ahead and check from 15 megahertz, 15,000 kilohertz, plus or minus 15 kilohertz, and we'll see where our resonance points lie. Yeah, see, look at that, 1.07 at 18.1. Wow, it's got a number of places that are below 2-to-1. So the 4-to-1 BalUn worked out great. And look at that, 18.1, usable without the tuner. And let me see what this is over here. .56 at 22.8. Not terribly helpful there, but you know, that could be tuned. 26.4. 27. So let's see, back to Yeah, 26.4. So again, not real usable, but what is this last one here? 29. Ooh, 29.7 is less than a 2 to 1. All right, so one more test here. I'm going to go in and I'm going to change the frequency to, I'll do 52 megahertz and make it plus or minus 3. Just checking 6 meters in case. Oh, look at that. 1.05 at 51.34. Okay, so, and look at that. There was less than a 2 to 1 at wow, look at that. 54.640. Okay, so there you go. There's the antenna analyzer. So this thing, this 250 feet of wire fed in the middle with window line, 450 ohm window line, and using a 4 to 1 BalUn that I bought from BalUn Designs. Again, that is the model number 4116T, and it is a dual core BalUn. So that's definitely working out better for me than that 97 ohm 1 to 1 that was called a Doublet BalUn. All right, hey, just thought I would insert this since I had mentioned it earlier and I was curious myself. So I hope you found the video helpful and informative. Again, let me mention that was the BalUn Designs 4116T. It's a dual core BalUn, and it is 50 ohms on the output side, so the length of that coax shouldn't really matter. The coax is going between the BalUn and the amplifier, which right now I'll just tell you what it is. It's 9 feet long. It's LMR 400 with Amphenol, I believe it's Amphenol connectors on each end. I normally make them myself. My first job at age 14 was at a CB shop, and I made many coax jumpers. But I went ahead and ordered this one. I needed the cable anyway, and I was able to buy it any length I wanted with the ends already on it. So I did. But that's 9 feet long going over to the BalUn. And again, it's 60 feet of window line plus or minus. I didn't measure it exactly, but judging by how high up the antenna is and then how much cable I've got left, how much window line I have left, it should be around close to 60 feet, maybe 57, 58 feet, somewhere along in there. And then 250 feet of wire and with a ladder lock in the middle. If you want to see it in photos, I've featured it in my antenna farm video. Just look for the one N4H&H antenna farm. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you found the video helpful and informative. Thank you to my Patreon supporters who make this channel possible. Those of you who watch these videos, if you're not a Patreon supporter, do think about them, because they're the people that make these videos possible for everyone else to watch. I would not be able to justify the time to do this were it not for their support. So again, thank you so much to the Patreon support team out there. And if you would do me a favor and click the like button for the video, that helps us out with the YouTube standings, and that won't cost you anything. And of course, consider subscribing to the channel. If you do subscribe, please click that notification bell and you'll be notified when I upload the next video, which is generally 1 and sometimes 2 a week. Okay, hey, thanks again for watching in 73 from N4H&H.